Good day everyone. Today I will be talking about the power of your own yardstick. Imagine for a moment that you have a ruler in your hand. But this is not just any ruler, it's a special one. This ruler is the only one that truly matters in your life. It measures your progress, your success, your happiness, and your worth. No one else's ruler, no one else's standards, no one else's opinions. Just your own. Now pause and ask yourself, whose ruler am I using right now to measure my life? Most of us try to fit into someone else's measure. We compare ourselves to others, their achievements, their possessions, their status, their ideas of success. But what happens when you stop using someone else's ruler and begin to use your own? When you become the standard of your life. Today, I want to take you on a journey to discover the power and freedom that come when you stand tall and decide to measure your life by your own standards. To use yourself as the measure of all things you want to do and be. Part 1. Why we give away our measuring stick. From a young age, we are taught to measure ourselves by someone else's rules. Grades at school, awards, likes on social media, approval from family and friends, money, popularity, the list goes on. We do this because it seems easier. If we know the standard, then we think we know success. But the problem is, those external standards are outside our control. When the world changes, and it always does, we become lost, confused, or discouraged because we are chasing other people's goals, not ours. Think of the unhappiness that comes with constantly feeling not enough because you're comparing yourself to someone else's life, someone else's speed, someone else's dreams. What if all along, you had the ability to change the measurement? To set your own standards based on what you truly value, what genuinely brings you joy, and what aligns with your deepest self. Part 2. Understanding your own standards. Using yourself as the standard means understanding who you are. Not who you think you should be based on others' opinions, but the real you. What do you care about? What are your strengths, your values, your passions? Ask yourself these questions. What makes me feel alive? What am I proud of, regardless of what others say? When do I feel like I'm truly being me? What kind of life do I want, not what everyone else wants for me? Your answers become your personal measurement system, your yardstick for making decisions, for setting goals, and for celebrating achievements. When you use these inner standards, life changes. Success becomes meaningful. Failure becomes a stepping stone, because you understand it in your own terms. Part 3. Overcoming challenges with your personal standard. Of course, choosing yourself as the standard is not always easy. The world will still try to tell you who to be and how to measure success. Sometimes, self-doubt creeps in. You might feel the pressure to conform. But here's the secret: when you hold your own standards firmly, challenges become invitations to learn more about yourself, not reasons to give up. When you measure yourself by your own growth, your own courage, your own integrity, criticism loses its power. Because you know you are living your truth. You become resilient, because you understand that setbacks are only significant if you let other people's measuring sticks define your worth. Part 4. Practical steps to start measuring by yourself. If you want to begin this powerful shift today, here are some practical steps. Write down your values and dreams, put them somewhere visible. Let them guide your daily choices. Celebrate small wins that align with your values, no matter how small they seem. These are proof that your standards work for you. Practice self-compassion. Measure your effort, your intent, and your kindness to yourself, not just the outcomes. Limit comparisons. Remind yourself, the only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Surround yourself with supportive people who respect your standards and encourage your growth. Part 5. The freedom and joy of being your own measure. When you live by your own standards, you experience freedom like never before. The pressure to keep up, to fit in, to be someone else, falls away. You start to see your life through a lens of authenticity and joy. You take pride in progress, not perfection. You measure success by how deeply you live your truth. And here's something beautiful. When each person in the world measures themselves and lives authentically, we create a world rich in diversity, creativity, and genuine connection. Remember that special ruler you imagined at the start. It's in your hands right now. No one can take it away. No one can decide its length or units but you. Before I conclude, let me tell you 2 stories that will inspire you. Story 1, The Timid Girl Who Found Her Voice. Emma's story. Emma was a painfully shy girl growing up in a bustling city. In school, she was always quiet, rarely raising her hand, and afraid to speak in front of her classmates. Teachers often overlooked her, assuming she wasn't interested or capable. At home, her parents worried she lacked confidence and urged her to be more outgoing, something that felt impossible to Emma. But Emma had one secret: she loved writing stories. In her private journal, she expressed her dreams, fears, and imagination freely, without any judgment. It was her yardstick, her personal way to measure herself. One day, her English teacher noticed her talent and encouraged her to submit a story to a local contest. Nervous but determined, Emma sent her story. To everyone's surprise, including hers, Emma won first place. That moment changed her life. She realized she didn't need to measure herself by others' loudness or popularity. Instead, her words had power, and her quiet voice could move people. From that day onward, Emma used her own yardstick, her love for creativity and her gentle persistence, to build confidence. Years later, Emma became a published author, inspiring countless shy and timid kids to embrace the unique strength. She proved that you don't have to shout to be heard. Sometimes, the softest voice carries the greatest power. Story 2, The Timid Boy Who Stepped into Greatness. David's story. David was a reserved boy from a small town with dreams bigger than his timid nature allowed. He struggled with public speaking, avoided sports, and dreaded social activities. His classmates sometimes bullied him for being quiet, and teachers labeled him as not a leader. David felt invisible. His own self-measure kept him small. He believed he was simply not the leader type. But deep down, he wanted to make a difference. One day, a crisis hit their community. A severe flood threatened their town. The local youth center was badly damaged, and the community needed volunteers. David, pushed by a quiet inner voice, decided to help. He didn't lead at first. He showed up, cleaned, and helped wherever asked. Slowly, others noticed his dedication and kindness. When a group of kids felt discouraged, David gently encouraged them, organized a small cleanup crew, and even gave a short, heartfelt speech at a community meeting. No one expected the timid boy to take charge, but David had found his yardstick: service, compassion, and courage. In his own quiet way, he inspired others to act. His leadership was not about loudness but about consistent, humble strength. That summer changed everything for David. He learned that measuring himself by courage, not charisma, made him powerful. Today, he is a community organizer, helping vulnerable youth find their voice and strength by measuring life with their own yardsticks. Conclusion. Emma and David's stories remind us that being timid or quiet is not a weakness. It can be your greatest strength when paired with a strong, personal yardstick. Define your own standards, measure your growth by your own values, and watch how your unique light shines brighter than any external comparison. The power of your own yardstick is the power to be your best self, quietly, confidently, and truly. So I challenge you, make a promise to yourself today that you will measure your life by your own rules. That you will be your own standard. That you will define success, happiness, and progress by what feels true in your heart. Because when you become the standard of your own life, you become unstoppable. Stand tall, measure boldly, live fully. Thank you.